Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky says 50,000 Russian and North Korean troops are now fighting Ukrainian forces. The troops are trying to drive Ukraine from the border area of Russia that Ukraine currently controls. This as Russia signs a new treaty with North Korea and prepares a new offensive. Chief Foreign Correspondent Ian Pannell joins me now for more on that. Hi, Ian. So Ukrainian soldiers took over parts of the Kursk region earlier this year. How big of a deal is it now for Ukraine to be fighting and trying to defend that territory?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a big deal, actually, for both countries. It's certainly a big deal for Russia because Vladimir Putin lost control of parts of one of his oblasts, one of his regions, down on the border with Ukraine, which was a huge embarrassment for the Kremlin. And they've struggled really to try and drive the Ukrainians out. They have regained some of that territory in Kursk, which obviously neighbours Ukraine. However, they've been unable to really force the Ukrainians out. So President Zelensky, Ukrainian security and military officials have been certainly telling us that they think 50,000 or so Russian troops, possibly with North Koreans there as well, are gathering. We're hearing that perhaps this counter-offensive has begun, although in reality it's kind of been going on for a few weeks. I think what we're talking about is a stepped-up offensive. And it matters for Ukraine as well, because it was seen as a victory that they managed to take Russian territory. It was seen as a tactically clever move, even though it's facing a lot of problems on its front lines inside Ukraine. And some people say, well, you shouldn't have engaged in a new offensive when you were unable to deal with Russia on your own doorstep. However, there is a possibility that if Ukraine can hold on to that territory, then potentially it can use it as a bargaining chip in any future peace negotiations, which is, of course, what we know the president-elect is going to be keenest on.
Ian, President-elect Trump has vowed to end the Ukraine war quickly. What does this new treaty between Russia and North Korea do for that goal?
I think, in some senses, I think they're separate. I mean, clearly there is a link, but I think it's worth stepping back and looking at actually what's happened over certainly the last 6 to 12 months, primarily led by Vladimir Putin. But you've seen this gradual kind of realignment. In other words, a hardening of this group of countries are known as CRIG. This is China, Russia, Iran and North Korea, who have all started working much more closely together. Now, they've long been seen as either as enemies or as competitors for the United States and other countries. But under the stewardship, really, of Vladimir Putin, they've come much closer together. There was a meeting, BRICS meeting, recently. A lot of those countries were there together. They're exchanging arms. You're now seeing this defense pact between between North Korea and Russia. And obviously China is also part of that, although China tends to act in its own interest. But at the moment, there is a lot of convergence there. I think for President Trump, I don't know that that necessarily complicates it. It might actually help Ukraine, conversely.
All right, Chief Foreign Correspondent Ian Pannell. Ian, thank you.